Jambo, fellow adventurers, it's Mike Dooley, and welcome back to Your Wish is the Universe's Command. Now, I was debating whether or not to share what I'm about to share with you, but then I thought, yeah, what the heck? We're all human beings. We're all people. I've been a little bit, excited, let's say, about this series. Hay House told me, and I kind of wish they hadn't, that as of last week, there was, you're not going to believe it because I'm not, 38,000 people enrolled for this webinar series. 38,000 people. The ratio is usually 20% watch live, and the rest watch when they get home from work or on the weekend or with a beer or who knows what. So I've been a little bit like, oh my gosh, that's never happened. I've never spoken to more than 5,000 at a time live, and that was freaky. So this is kind of, even though I'm looking at a webcam right now and I'm all alone in my office in Orlando, Florida, I'm like, wow, talk about a manifestation. I don't know if I ever imagined this many people. I can't begin to tell you how grateful I am that you are part of this series, that you have ridden along. I can't begin to express my gratitude to Hay House for making this possible at considerable expense. I'm one of their authors. They're promoting my work. They, like I, believe in giving and being of service. And so here we are. Your Wish is the Universe's Command, a 3-part video series where I get to share the things that light me up and thrill me the most. Last session, which was 2 days ago, we talked about the art of performing miracles. We talked about the importance of beginning with the end in mind. And that helps you automatically skip past the cursed hows. Okay. Forget the hows. Your brain weren't designed to figure out how your dreams can come true. It's impossible. If you think you know how your big dreams are going to come true, let it go. Let it go. You're on a slippery, slippery slope. There's better ways than you even know that will make your dream come true. But divine intelligence, who hung the stars in the night sky, who painted every flower, zebra, and butterfly, is on the case, is your greater self, loves and adores you, is conspiring on your behalf in a world where you are inclined to succeed, because this is a non-neutral universe. That's just a little bit of what we talked about in the first hour. And by the way, thanks for the comments. When I'm looking at the webcam, I don't have time to, or the ability to look at them, but my team's watching, and Hay House tells me that you guys are part of my tribe, part of my family. And I think for all of us involved in this kind of work, when we see that kind of appreciation and gratitude, it makes everything so worthwhile. So thank you all for the great comments. And if you have, if you're at a loss for words, just tell us where you're from, okay? And tell us what's resonating with you. And today, unlike 2 days ago, you're going to have the ability, and I invite you to right now, ask questions, type them below, and they are going to be relayed to me. I don't get really the same experience, the web experience that you have right now. So like I said, not only could I not look down, but I don't even have it down to look to. But the team's on it. So jot down questions that come to mind, particularly pertaining to what I'm sharing with you. And I got a lot of exciting stuff to share with you today. At the end of the day, I'm going to give you another worksheet, and this one's really cool. This is going to help you map out and objectify exactly what's going to come next in the best of your life, so that you can use some of the principles I'm going to be sharing with you today and that I shared 2 days ago with you with deliberate intent, fresh off of the press, straight from hearing my words and watching this lesson, and however many times you want to rewatch my lesson. Today's featured talk is how to discover what you really want, with emphasis on the word really. Because number one, we mess with the hows and the shoulds so much in our life at this primitive juncture in time and space, we become desensitized and even detached to our own heart and to our own wanderlust, to the degree that I have met so many adults who don't even know what they want to do with the rest of their life. You know, they've been messing with the shoulds, messing with the house, doing what they think is right, doing what they think God wants, doing what they think their parents would be impressed by, that they forgot what they care about. And they've been trying to decide what to do based on, does it pay? Does it have good esteem? Does it have the wow factor? The crying shame here, and really, if it hasn't brought you to tears yet in your life, good on you. The crying shame is, we all know in 2 seconds flat what we really, really want. But we have been trained by loving guardians to figure out how to get it. We know what we really want, but we've turned it into an equation of, yeah, but how am I going to get there? How am I going to make that happen? You really want love. You really want joy. You really want to play. You really want to have fun. You really want to be out in nature. You really want to have a lot of money, and there's nothing unspiritual about that. But you've turned that simple, basic question that is what guides children on a playground into the adult pragmatics and logistics of, how am I going to get to a place of joy? How am I going to find love? How am I going to find self-confidence? How am I going to make a buck following my heart? Oh, and there's so many competing theories out there of like, just pay your dues and enjoy it later. Oh, you don't have to like your job, but you can like what it brings you. And garbage I've heard my whole life. Let me ask you a question before I go there. And this is one I ask to audiences literally around the world for like 8 years running right now. And everyone virtually can relate. Do you know what you want to be when you grow up? Yeah, that's a facetious question, because you're, on average, my audience is between 30 and 50 people, 30 and 50 years old. So you're way past that, right? But are you? Do you know what you want to be when you grow up? 80% of all of my audiences in any country upon any continent raise their hand sheepishly to show that they don't yet know what they want to be when they grow up, and they're 40 years old. And you know what's triply terrifying about that? You've been told your whole life that you better figure it out because no one's going to figure it out for you. And here you are, 40 years old, raising your hand. And you know what's more terrifying than that? You intuitively know you got to do something about that which you want. But how do you do something about that which you don't know what you want? Which brings us to a sense, a place of debilitation, of paralysis, self-doubt, bordering on self-loathing. You don't do anything because you don't want to go down the wrong path, and then somebody slipped you the secret DVD or book 10 years ago, and you're like, oh, I don't have to do anything. The universe is going to figure it out for me. And you've been waiting for 10 years for the universe to figure it out for you, because that's not the formula either. I'm going to help you with this. I'm going to show you and tell you exactly what you want. And you're going to be like, it's true. And then I'm going to give you 3 steps to get it, to engage the universe, to leverage the magic. I'm giving you all of it. I'm not holding back. But so that you can get that I'm one of you, man. I am a fellow adventurer. I'm a seeker. I'm a searcher. I want to relay to you some of the debilitation and paralysis I've experienced in my life. And the first time I can remember not knowing what comes next and being stuck in a place where I was frozen solid was about age 5. Not kidding. Mom would take my sister and I to our favorite treat of all treats, the merry-go-round at the end of the mall that was coin operated. 2 thoroughbreds racing around a pole. I was 5, my sister 1 year younger than me. She was 4. And I can remember, and I don't know how that got to be our favorite treat of all treats. I mean, kids these days, like my daughter, oh, they get treats, man. You know, our favorite, our reward for good behavior, you know, interim reward was let's go feed the ducks at the pond. And our Mac Daddy Award was the merry-go-round at the end of the mall, if we were good for like ever. Okay, so I can remember the last time, and it was the last time for a reason. The last time Mom ever took us to this merry-go-round. We had behaved forever, went to all the boring shops, and she finally set us free. And Amanda and I ran our little 4- and 5-year-old hearts out all the way across this humongous mall, and we slid up to our steeds. My sister saddled up. I had one leg on the back of my stallion and one leg on the ground, and suddenly I saw it like I had never seen it before in my entire life. I could no more bring myself to get all the way on than I could get all the way off and run the other way. I wanted so badly to do both. Until Mom caught up and she's like, Mike, honey, geez, what's wrong? I thought you loved this race. And I looked at the stallion and I looked at my mom and I looked at the horse and my sister and my mom. And I was like, Mom, it's stupid. It's stupid. Suddenly, I had stopped seeing it as this race that I thought I was always winning because my sister was always behind me. She thought she was winning because I was always behind her. That's why we both loved it. Suddenly, it wasn't riding horses. Suddenly, it wasn't the wild, wild west. Suddenly, it was a hunk and piece of plastic that went nowhere. And I was mortified. I was embarrassed. I was like all of a sudden a big kid, and this is like so beneath me. But I could not run the other way because I didn't know if there would be anything else that would ever bring me the joy that this piece of plastic once gave me. I mean, if we can't see it with our physical senses in these primitive times, this is all we do is use our physical senses to judge ourselves and our progress or lack thereof in the world. It's hard to really know or believe that anything is around the corner. I mean, what if the hokey pokey really is what it's all about? And so all of a sudden, I'm in paralysis. I'm in debilitation. I know that my joy is up to me, but this thing isn't going to give it to me. Yet if I turn my back on it, what will give it to me? And I'm stuck there. Mom could see right through me, as she always could. And before I even said any more, she was like, honey, it's okay. This just means you're growing up. There's going to be other stuff. I promise there's going to be better stuff. The best mom in the world. And she was right. She was right. Time went on. I was growing up. I was 9 years old. And then people were asking me, oh, little Mike, what are you going to be when you grow up? Oh, and they're so happy if the little kid has an answer. You know what it's like. You know that drill. You ask kids this day, what do you want to be when you grow up? Like I just asked you. And I would say fireman, policeman, astronaut. You know, everyone's happy with your answer. Nobody cares about your answer. But if you don't have one, whether you're 9 or 90, it's like red alert, red alert. Oh my God, little Mikey doesn't know what he wants to be when he grows up. Oh, you're approaching retirement, or you're 40, or you're 60, or you're 90, and you don't know what. Little Mike, don't you know that you can do anything when you grow up? It's like, that's the problem. There's too many choices, and I don't want to pick the wrong one, which might be your issue if you're in the 80%. If you're in the 20% and you know what's going on and you know what floats your boat and you know what you want to manifest, I'll have some messages for you later today and in our final seminar. Let the rest of this be confirmation. But when you're in that 80% and you don't know what comes next and you know no one's going to hand it to you and you know you need to be acting on it and you don't know what to do, paralysis, debilitation, heartbreak. All the while, what you really want is right beneath your nose. And I'm going to share that with you in just a moment. Now, in spite of my cool answers at 9 years old, I ended up becoming a certified public accountant, working for Pricewaterhouse. If you're overseas right now, outside of the US, chartered accountant. Passed the test, did all this stuff, worked for Pricewaterhouse. Not what I had in mind when I was 9 years old, but admittedly, it was my dream job. I got what I wanted. It suited me to a T for 6 years. Got promoted to manager, wanted more. decided to quit cold turkey, move to Orlando, Florida, where somebody would see how awesome I am and make me the CEO or president of their company. And that did not happen. Suddenly, I'm wondering if quitting my job at Price Waterhouse, as I was about to turn 30, today's dollars would make it a six-figure salary at age 29. Suddenly, I'm unemployed, wondering if I hadn't made the biggest mistake of my life, wondering if I should call and go back, wondering if I should join another accounting firm or start my own accounting firm, even though I didn't want to do accounting, not knowing what would come next. And I couldn't see it with these peepers. I'm like, oh my God, what do I do with my life? Why did I quit that perfectly good job? Why did I sell my condo in Boston? What's wrong with me? Am I Looney Tunes? Debilitation. Just like when I was 9 years old. Just like when I was 5 years old. 5 years old is what I meant. 9 years old, I was going to be an astronaut. Well, thanks to Mom's encouragement, we ended up selling T-shirts, Mom, Andy, and I, the beginning of .com and today's business. But this was like 35 years ago, 30 years ago, and it was miserably slow going. If it wasn't for Mom's faith, I would have backed out. I would have done anything but selling T-shirts from the sidewalk in Orlando to tourists. That's how we started. Within 2 years felt like 2 lifetimes. I hated my mom for a little while. It blasted off. 3 of us, Mom, Andy, and I, in the first 10 years, did over $10 million. 3 people sold 1 million T-shirts. And suddenly I'm like, yeah, I rock this. I rock it. I love my life. I love who I am. But by the 10-year anniversary, trends were declining. We had already bought Mom out. My brother was being a jerk. No, I was probably the jerk, not him. He's too cool. But we weren't getting along. And so we decided to liquidate for pennies on the dollar our remaining inventory, split the cash pie. We owed nobody anything, but we certainly didn't have enough money to coast for the rest of our lives. I got my accountant's visor on and I'm like, oh my God, how did this happen to me? How long can I go without a paycheck? 24 months. I had a little nest egg, a life's savings at 39 years old, almost 40. I had a mortgage that was 2.5 times greater than my life's savings, and I was freaked out. And this brings you to the part of the story I shared 2 nights ago when I was praying at the side of my bed to dear God Almighty to help me figure out this mess I was in. And on my knees, praying at the side of my bed for guidance, I remember being angry at the situation I was in, and I said to God, I don't know how I got here, but I know what I want. I want to have enough money I don't worry about losing my house. Let's call it wealth and abundance. I want wealth and abundance. I want creative, fulfilling work, but I have no idea what that could possibly be. I've already done corporate America. I've already done the entrepreneurial gig. Is there anything else? Creative, fulfilling work. I want to be surrounded by friends and laughter for the rest of my life. And I'd like to start traveling internationally again. Please, absolutely indulgent request coming from where I was, but you can indulge. That was the most I indulged. Wealth and abundance, creative, fulfilling work, in friends and laughter, international travel. In hindsight, I do believe that was the first time that God Almighty did a little happy dance on my behalf. Why? It was the first time in my life that I wasn't trying to micromanage my life, my successes, my big dreams, not through brilliance or intelligence. And you'll see there was a lot of intelligence to those end results in a moment when I explain. But because of desperation, I was at the end of my rope and I could no longer micromanage. I asked you at the end of the last class, are all end results the same? You know, what if you want Rocky to fall in love with you? What if you want your employer to give you more money? What if you want so-and-so to do such and such? Are all end results the same? Your wish is the universe's command. Does that apply to all commands? Or might there be some that put you out of reach of life's magic? Much to the chagrin of divine intelligence who adores you, and much to your own chagrin when mountains refuse to move. This is what I stumbled upon. by being at the end of my rope, desperate for ideas, not knowing how to micromanage. Drum roll, please. Okay, you're doing this at home right now? Because this is going to change your life. You won't be convinced of it. You'll think, no way. But hear me out for this lesson, and it will change your life. Drum roll, please. What I learned is our most prized dreams, desires, and end results ought to be generally stated. Generally stated. Your big dreams should be general. They should be vague. Now that sounds like kooky tooks. I know. Hear me out. When your end results are big picture, like wealth and abundance instead of $1 million by December 31, or love and joy instead of Bruno falls in love with me and takes me to Rome, or living pain-free, fully recovered, recuperated, reconditioned instead of get rid of that lousy pain in my back. Let me walk up straight. When you have broad brush strokes, you give divine intelligence, which you cannot comprehend. It is so divine and so brilliant. You give that brilliance of the cosmos total free latitude to connect the dots and bring you into a life of financial abundance that blows your mind, that brings you into a life of health and recovery that you never thought was possible, that brings you to a person to love and enjoy with benefits that you didn't even know was alive when you wanted a travel partner. This is what we give divine intelligence when we keep it general and even vague. Now, there's a problem with vague. It doesn't stimulate your joy or kundalini or make you feel emotionally charged about it. That could be catastrophic, but there's a workaround. There's a place for the details, and I'm going to get to that in a minute. Details are vitally important when you visualize and create affirmations. But right now, out of the block, I stumbled upon something that I can see so clearly in hindsight. By no longer micromanaging, because I didn't know what to ask for anymore. I had already asked for everything, received everything, and burned it all up. I got general. When you're a micromanager, that's exactly when, and I asked you about this 2 nights ago, you sometimes hit it big. You sometimes totally strike out. And other times, you hit it big, but in a week or a month or a year, you totally regret wanting what you wanted, and you wished you had asked for something or someone else. You hit it, you miss it, you regret it, you hit, you miss, you regret, you end up drawing a conclusion that's completely bogus. There must be someone else deciding. There must be some other element to the equation I'm not aware of. I wanted this and I got that. I wanted that and I got this. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, sometimes I wished it hadn't. That's what micromanaging does to you. But when you're general, you're off the hook. You give it to divine intelligence, full latitude, total wiggle room to figure out the shortest, best, quickest, happiest way to get there. And sometimes down a path you didn't even know existed. Sometimes with a best friend or a partner you didn't even know was born. Sometimes through a method or a modality that you were ignorant of prior to the journey beginning. This is what general end results do. This is the cornerstone of my best-selling book, Playing the Matrix, and what I've been touring the world on for 8, 9, 10 years. This is why people in Moscow, in Kuala Lumpur, in Sydney, Australia, in Kansas City, in Honolulu come out and hear. It is this simple. And yes, there's tangents and nuances, and I still got more time, and I'm going to fill that in. And I still got another session with you. Next Tuesday, I'm going to fill that in too. So yeah, there's nuances, and I'm covering that. I'm going to be covering more, and I'm going to be giving you more, and I'm going to tell you where there's additional resources. But I'm going to give you what you need to know. You already have within you all you need to have and live exactly as you now want. Okay, I'm just telling you what you already know. And I'm going to fill in these question marks about how being vague and general is even more powerful than you've yet to comprehend. And I'm going to also tell you how to get into the details. But let me back up When you're general, you're no longer micromanaging. And when you're micromanaging, one of the reasons it's hit or miss, excuse me, is because you have drifted. I'm drifting right now. Unbeknownst to yourself, directly into the Bermuda Triangle of manifestation. If you're okay with sometimes successes, you don't need the rest of this. If you'd like to move to all the time 100% successes, that's got to be one of my most outrageous comments, and I'll justify it in a minute. If you want to move to all the time it works, then you want to know about the Bermuda Triangle of manifestation. Because it is a triangle that contains end results that might not be attainable, or they might not be what you thought they were. Okay? The three corners of the Bermuda Triangle. Number one, when you have a dream or an end result that depends upon a specific person behaving a specific way, you're in the Bermuda Triangle. You got to know right off the bat. Even though a minute ago you might say, all dreams come true, everything is possible. The universe can grant any command. No, it cannot. All dreams are not possible. Many dreams will never come true. I'm telling you the hard, cold facts. If you have a dream that depends on Trixie or Ruby or Bruno or Bunny falling in love with you, don't you agree that that falls into the realm of manipulation? Maybe Bunny loves Rocco, and you getting involved and denying their free will ruin 3 lives. You can't make someone else fall in love with you. But here's the extraordinary news. When you're general, I want a travel partner with benefits that thrills me, that I adore like I didn't even know I could adore, and who adores me like I didn't even know I could be adored, that takes me to a higher level, takes me to a greater love. The universe is like, I know who will do that. I know exactly out of 7.5 billion people who will do that for you. I know where they live. I know what they eat for breakfast. I know how I can make your paths cross. You can have that love. But when you say, I want these things, and it's got to be Bruno, you slam shut the door on all other possibilities. That perfect person for you is no longer reachable because you're going to have Bruno, and you've watched The Secret 30 times in 30 days, and you can make this happen because the universe is going to listen to your wish and command Bruno to cross paths with you. When I say that there are dreams that can never come true, that does not mean that there's anyone who can't be happy, live in abundance, be healthy, recover from disease, lose weight, look great, and be worth millions of dollars. Those can all come true. But when you have an end result that tries to micromanage the logistics of how you're going to get there, I'm going to get into abundance by selling my book, and Oprah will love it, and Hay House will sell millions of copies. Or I'm going to live with my soulmate, Bruno, and he will learn to love by cooking. When you have constraints, I'm going to be creatively fulfilled by doing X, Y, Z. Back to the general end results. It alleviates us from having to micromanage. Micromanagement is a problem because we end up limiting divine intelligence, because we're saying it's this doorway, it's that pathway, it's this boss, it's that rock star, it's that hot date, it's this career. Don't even do it with careers. Other than say, I want to be creatively fulfilled, the universe is like, I know how to do that for you. You're good at this and you hate that, and you want to be better at this, and you have an experience that you didn't even know you were good at. I'm going to put it all together and you will be creatively fulfilled. That's all you got to do. And this is what I stumbled upon with those prayers to God on my knees in the dark night of my soul when I said, it's this tickle, dry tickle. When I said, I want wealth and abundance, creative, fulfilling work, surrounded by friends and laughter, international travel. Those end results all of a sudden made infinite possibilities dance on the stage before me. Now they're just dancing, and if your car's not in gear, not much is going to happen. So I want to parlay this talk of having general end results into the 3 unique and unexpected steps that I promised you in this this installment of our video series that not only taps into miracles and magic, but reveals to you what it is you really want. So those 3 steps are, number 1, know what your general priorities are for change in life. Okay, when people say, what do you want to do when you grow up? That's the wrong question. Ask yourself, what are my highest values today where I would like to see transformation? Full stop. That answers your question. Your highest priorities today, you know what they are in 2 seconds flat. Do you want more money? Do you want to not worry about money? Do you want to have creative, fulfilling work? Do you want to have more money, creative, fulfilling work, and a travel partner? Do you want to, you get to name it here, okay? You get to name it, and you can have more than one. Go for it. The ultimate end result, happiness. That implies all of the cylinders are firing. You can't be truly happy unless you have money, creative fulfillment, friends and laughter, health and healing, lose weight, look great, and all that stuff. If those are things that are important to you for your happiness, as you take baby steps, thy will shall be done. But step 1 is we pitch the micromanagement. We avoid the Bermuda Triangle. Oh, I'm going back to the Bermuda Triangle in a minute. We avoid the Bermuda Triangle. We get clear with end results that are generally stated, and the universe says, aha, I know how to do that. So back to the Bermuda Triangle, the second corner of the Bermuda Triangle of 3. The first one was wanting specific people to behave in specific ways. The second one is don't mess with the hows. I already explained that. Your job is not to know how your dream will come true. If you're like, this is how, slippery slope. So let your end results be dreams that speak of themselves, that speak unto themselves, wealth and abundance, friends and laughter, health and healing, not how I'm going to get there. Okay, get all the hows out of there, or otherwise you're in the Bermuda Triangle, and it might work, might not work. And the third corner of the Bermuda Triangle is trying to insist upon or corral unimportant details. And all details are unimportant. Do not insist upon nor attach to unimportant details, and understand that all details are unimportant. Now here's a little clarity. Details are awesome. I didn't say they're bad. They're just not good as end results. Okay? But they're awesome to get excited about your end results. And we'll talk about that in a minute. I didn't say specific people are bad. They're awesome. Everybody's awesome. You're always going to have specific people in your life. But when you attach your happiness to a certain person's specific behavior, that's a problem. And once your dream comes true, there will always be a how it came true. There's nothing wrong with hows. They're awesome. Unless at the outset of a journey, you say to the world, this is how my dream will come true, then you exclude all other possibilities. So there's nothing wrong with hows or details or specific people. They're all awesome. But when you attach to any of those, Bermuda Triangle, it's really simple, really simple. Know what your priorities are, step 1 of the 3 steps for playing the matrix and getting the universe to grant your wishes. Number 1, general end results. What are your priority areas for change? You can change the ranking later on. I most want a partner. I most want a career. I most want to discover what I love doing. Make these multiple big picture general end results, which are boring as hell, which is why there's a step 2. Now, step 2, this is new material. You are to get into the details with vision boards, affirmations, and all those exercises that all other Hay House authors teach, including me, to ramp up a sense of excitement and joy about your life transforming in the direction of your big picture value. Got that? That's easy. So if you want a life of wealth and abundance, you have a vision board maybe that is emblematic of a life of wealth and abundance, and put pictures of yourself in there. If you want a travel partner, put pictures of gorgeous people as you define gorgeous in there with you. You can even have in mind somebody you know of and love. Because here's one of the absolute beauties of this approach. We're not excluding people, places, hows, or anything like that with general end results. We're leaving every option on the table. So if you really think Bruno is your soulmate or your twin flame, well, we're leaving the door open for Bruno. But if he's not, and only divine intelligence knows, then you're good to not insist upon him, and the right person will show up. Bruno is just training wheels. Okay? So, you want to get into the details. You want to see them. You do want to visualize them, but you're not insisting on them. You're not attaching to them. You're not saying it must be the red car. It'll probably be a red car if that's what you want. There's a ton of them out there, but you're not insisting on it. You're not going to insist on tall, bald, and handsome. Okay, this is what every woman wants, and it's not always possible. But you're going to get something even better, as if, okay? You're going to think of these details. You're going to visualize the details. You're going to hold their hand as you walk your toes in the sand, but you're not going to insist. The thing you insist upon is the big picture transformation. My life will transform in terms of love and romance. My life is going to transform in terms of creative fulfillment. My life will transform, has already transformed. I give thanks in advance. It is transformed in terms of financial wealth and mastery. All of those you attach to. But when you visualize the new car, the hot vacation, the hot date, the house on the lake, those you visualize to get so, oh, it's going to taste so good. You're dressing up the vagueness of your priority areas. So you're using all those old tools. We're not learning any new tricks here. You're using visualization, affirmations, et cetera, to create a heightened sense of emotional expectation and anticipation. And then step 3, okay, general end result. Where are your priorities? You know what that is in 2 seconds. Instead of telling me what you're going to be when you grow up, which 80% of you can't do anyway, you shouldn't even try. General end result. Get excited about it with vision boards, affirmations, mantras, pictures on the refrigerator, in the bathroom mirror. And number 3, car in gear. Car in gear. Take action. Show up. Baby steps. So simple. Remember, it doesn't matter what you do. I told you that 2 nights ago. It matters that you do something. So don't be thinking, I have to do the right thing. Your best idea of the right thing is going to be wrong. The path you arrive on, as I told you, is not the path you start out on. It doesn't fly and matter what path you start out on. Start. Go. And if you don't have good choices in front of you, like I said, choose the least sucky. Now you're under sail. Now you're a lightning rod for divine intelligence. Now you can make it happen. Show up. Be engaged. Notice GPS navigation. Destination, car and gear, done. Universe takes over. But in GPS, we're specific with our destinations. In living the life of your dreams, we're general. Therefore, we need an additional step that we squeezed in the middle. General end result, that's boring. So get excited about it with the details when you visualize. And then put your car in gear. Those are the 3 steps. And we've already answered what it is you really want. Don't let that be a heartbreaker anymore. Let me tell you what you really want. To be happy. That's all you've ever wanted. That's all anybody ever wants, to be happy. Yes, you can put love in there. Yes, you can put fulfillment in there. Yes, but you want love and fulfillment to be happy. In my book, happiness is the ultimate value. Love, in my book, is a given. Let's not go on that tangent right now, okay? I certainly honor and worship love. We wouldn't be here without it. But I think of it as a constant, not a variable. Happiness is a variable based on choice of mind, choice of focus, and attitude, behavior, dreams, spoken word, etc. Happiness is what we're striving for. The love's already there. And you can have it. And you can stop. Next time somebody says, what do you want to be when you grow up? You tell them, happy. Okay. Next time somebody says, hey, how are you today? You tell them, I'm happy. Declare it. Use your words. This is the ultimate end result, and it implies everything else is clicking in your life. So funny. I got to tell you this. Invariably, in my initial audiences, when I would go through happiness is the ultimate end result. And you don't have to go just to happiness. You can go to money, and you can go to other stuff. Somebody would raise their hand and say, what if happiness is all I get, Mike Dooley? Just happy. Ooh, just happy. That would be so bad. But they thought, because we're trained micromanagers in these primitive times, they thought that the universe might say, oh, you want to be happy and have a date? Oh, you didn't tell me that. How could I know? You want to be happy and have food in your belly? If you don't tell me, how can I possibly know? You want to be happy and have a job and creatively? They would think that if they don't name it, they can't have it. Baloney. You're so inclined to succeed. You're this gladiator of joy, this tidal wave of eternity rolling through the cosmos. Now you are playing the role of, hi, I'm Mike Dooley. And you chose this role so that you could be joyful and expressive and divine in this existence. And so all of those values are seeking to be fulfilled, and you don't have to say, oh, and I want to have enough money to live. You don't even have to name what you most want to have it if you aspire to a larger, bigger picture value that demands it. True happiness demands that you have a full belly. True happiness demands you have friends and laughter. True happiness demands that you recover from any illness and live pain-free. True happiness demands that you can live your life on your terms. And so happiness is the ultimate end result. But there's so much wiggle room. If you want opulence, wealth, and abundance, if you want millions and millions of dollars or pesos or dineros or sterling or euros or yen or whatever, go get it. You can have it. That's nothing. Given that you have life on earth, that's nothing. And this is how. You just focus on abundance and move towards it while staying excited by visualizing and using affirmations. And you're always moving towards it, car and gear, until you arrive. You didn't know that this was true before. That's why it seems like it's not working, or you draw conclusions based on your physical senses, or you fall into some of the traps we talked about last week. Now, I want to answer some of your questions. Let me see here my agenda and see all the things I didn't talk about that I was going to, and see all the things I did talk about that I didn't write down. Wow, I got it like awe. I got it like awe. So I'm going to switch over to questions and answers right now, and my team has adeptly brought over a bunch of your questions. And if you have questions you haven't asked yet, continue to ask them, and they are going to be relayed to me. I'm going to spend 10 to 12 minutes right now, maybe 15, answering your questions about stuff I've already talked about, and I'm going to give you a few nuggets of additional leverage on the universe and performing miracles. I'm going to tell you about our exciting exercise that you get to take home, Mapping the Future. And I'm going to tell you about next week's meeting. So right now, let me see if I can find some questions. Okay, here we go. I'm reading my monitor. Let me put it over here so it looks almost like I'm looking at you. My question is, what if you have already manifested the beginning of your deepest dream? How do you continue to focus on that dream without the specific details? That's an amazing question, Winnie. Thank you for asking on behalf of everybody, the entire 40,000 people. So I won't repeat it. Okay, just go straight to the answer. The question implies a misunderstanding of what I was sharing. Let me fix my screen because I'm getting double vision of myself. Okay. Winnie, you're supposed to visualize the details. Visualize the sights, the sounds, the colors. You can even put specific people's faces in there. Just leave room for better. And that is not to diss anybody that you were picturing in your dream. Better for you doesn't mean that they're a better person. So you're supposed to visualize these details, Winnie. That's perfectly, I need to adjust my screen here. That's perfectly all right. Sight, sounds, colors. But here's the trick. Don't make the mistake, as we have all done in the past heretofore, of suddenly thinking that those details and those circumstances and those faces you're visualizing are your dream. They're not your dream. That's the icing on the cake. Your dream is this big, soulful desire from today forward. I don't know what your dream is, so I hope it's not in the Bermuda Triangle. Your dreams from this day forward ought to be generally broad brush stated. Okay? Now you can dabble with, I'm going to visualize that the webinar I'm doing for Hay House goes well. I'm going to visualize that my talk or my book or my date with Roxanne is going to go great. You can dabble with that, but when those things don't work out, it's not on you, okay? There's a million other factors, and it doesn't mean you're self-sabotaging, and don't draw bogus conclusions. Moreover, while you visualize a hot date with Roxanne, more importantly, be visualizing that your love life is amazing and the envy of all of your friends, okay? Just filled with joy and bursting with love. Now, dabble with visualizing Roxanne, but leave the door open because it might be Trixie or somebody else, okay? So visualize all the details. Just don't mistake the details for your end result. Your end result is the big picture that will bring its own details, possibly the ones you visualized and maybe not. Okay. I have moments of amazing manifestations and other moments of being utterly stuck. How do I get more manifestations and less stuck? Or perhaps I should ask, how can I more consistently manifest? The more general your manifestations, the more you move to 100% success. And when I made that outlandish, utterly insane comment that you can have 100% success with manifestations, that's contingent on you having general broad brush definitions for your end results, meaning wealth and abundance, friends and laughter, creative fulfilling work, international travel, health and healing, losing weight, looking great. All of those big picture values, which you want, you can have. You're at 100%. Okay? It's not going to be overnight on your terms, but you can have it. It's when you're micromanaging and you're in the Bermuda Triangle that you're bumping into elements that may or may not be reachable depending on other people's whims. That's when you have heartbreak. So by moving this way, and I say this to Leanne, you'll have more successes with less micromanagement. Now go ahead and micromanage if you want and you're willing to risk a fail. Nothing's really a fail, it's all learning. But don't label yourself a bad manifester. And moreover, simultaneously be working on the big stuff. How do I get more manifestations and less? How do I get less stuck? Well, that's really your answer. And another thing I would say, Leanne, is don't draw conclusions. The only conclusion is it's working. It never fails. Every day I get closer. Every day it gets easier. When your end results are general, you can know that's the case. And just because it hasn't happened yet, and maybe it's been 2 years, that does not mean it's not coming tomorrow. It's coming. They all work. But you have a lot of desires at the same time. And some of our desires are intertwined with manifestations on a global level. And so you have to be a little bit patient. So realign your sights here and move into the fast lane of it works all the time, Leanne. Let's see, Stephanie. Hey, Toronto's in the house. How do I get rid of those scary worries in the middle of the night? When you figure that, Stephanie, when you figure that out, send me an email, okay? Because, you know, I've been thinking about speaking to 40,000 people, and I can't sleep at night. Now I have a nasal drip, and I'm coughing in front of 40,000 people. Here's the deal, Stephanie. My life's experience has shown me fear is always going to be there. It's a matter of managing it. And when you face fear in the face enough times, and you ultimately blast forward, move higher, and rock on, you stop caring. It's never fun, not for me, but it's like fear, as I wrote in a note from the universe, usually means you're right where you should be. Keep on going. And that day will come when you're like, okay, this is it. This is right. And so you're managing it. You're not abolishing it. The greater your wisdom as time goes on, the less there is to fear. It's like, you know, you're going to hit a home run. You're going to do a great job. Everyone's going to love you. You're going to make a lot of money. You're going to heal. You're going to recover. You're going to have clarity. You're going to be fulfilled. It's like, you do. I have to admit, I worry less now than at any point in my entire life. I have less down days now than at any point in my entire life. There is such a thing as an upward spiral. And too many people think that life is all objective and all about contrast. And if you want to have good, you got to know what bad is. Their whole life is like this: good, bad, because you have to have contrast. Contrast is theoretical. You don't have to go there. You can have good, better, great, good, better. Scared to death, good, better. You heard of an upward spiral? Welcome to the club. All right. Can you ask for good health for someone else? Ooh, this is a big question I get a lot. You can, and you can imagine them happy, and you can imagine them well, and you can imagine them healed. And it will reach them with the love that sent it. And it may make all the difference, but it's up to them. You can bring the truth to them. You can bring love to them. But if for their own agenda, their own reasons, their own lessons, they don't want to learn, then they don't have to learn. And so, no, you cannot make somebody better, but you can help. You can offer. It's like sending a love note to somebody, you know. They're going to get it, let's just say. But will they read it? Will it matter? Will it touch them? Will it change their course? That's entirely up to them. So I would say try. Let me see here. Who's got a question? All right. Well, I think, okay, 2 questions here. I have trouble visualizing any advice. Yeah, forget it. You don't even have to visualize to be a manifesting rock star. You're already one. But here's a tip. Instead of visualizing sights and sounds and colors and textures and aromas, visualize joy. You just go, woo, woo, woo. You just do a happy dance for 2 minutes. Use your smartphone timer. I do this. You can do this. Just like, yes, yes, thank you, God. Oh, thank you, universe. Ah, you love my life. You don't even have to have a reason. When divine intelligence, your greater self, your inner witness sees this joy, the only way those thoughts can become things is if circumstances, physical and material and otherwise, are rearranged in your life as you show up in the world. Always got to have car and gear to bring you cause for such celebration. This is another example of how you can bring great things into your life without even thinking of them. If you think of a higher value, rocking joy and total celebration, you will be given reasons to celebrate. And those will breed more reasons, and you will become unstoppable. What was the other question? And then I'm going to look at my agenda here. Where did that question go? Here it is. How do I make it easier to let go of the house? It's like all of this metaphysical stuff. It's just you keep at it. It's practice. There's no like, oh, this is what you do. The only exception would be continue to be immersed in programs like this. Continue to read books or emails or resources that inspire you, that remind you of the truth. Okay, the more you're reminded of the truth, the more you embody the truth, the more you live the truth, and the more you automatically stop messing with the cursed house, the more you automatically realize there's a lot of ways to get there, and divine intelligence is on it. And it's not up to you to micromanage a certain cursed how or who or when. And let me toss out there a little nugget of advice that was on my list that I didn't get to yet. Inside that Bermuda Triangle, if you will, there's another detail that you should never mess with, and that is deadlines and timelines. If they're imposed upon you by a landlord, okay, you got to deal with that. If you want to impose them on yourself for your baby steps, that's a great idea. Like I write a chapter a month or a chapter a week or whatever, you know, and then you roll with it if you didn't quite make that target. But please do not put timelines or deadlines on the magic. Why? Because there's too many variables that you can't track to know whether or not you should have $1 million by December 31. There might be love relationships. There might be a sick family member. There might be other priorities that obliterate the importance of $1 million by 12/31. Whereas without a date, maybe you could easily have it by the following August. But if you put a deadline of December 31, come January 1, you're going to feel so defeated and so broken and so unable to manifest anything because you're still in debt that now you can't even have it in August when you would have automatically had it like a shoo-in. So don't mess with putting deadlines or details on divine intelligence. All right, so let me wrap up, fellow adventurers. Today's video was entitled How to Know What You Really, Really Want. The answer is go big picture, look at your priorities for change, and in 2 seconds flat, you have the answer. And stop reworking your answer into one of, yeah, but how do I get there? Your answer will inevitably include joy, love, friends, health, healing, improved finances, and the like. That's it. Done. That's how you know what you want. You didn't expect it to be that easy, did you? Then, for the 3 steps, get into the details for these priorities and imagine as if they were already done. Visualize the details, affirm the details, speak the details, declare them, put them on your refrigerator, have vision boards, have scrapbooks. Stay excited about the transformation because the end result is now vague and general. And step 3, take action in any direction. Remember, we said that you could go in the wrong direction with GPS guidance. So long as you're rolling, guidance is forthcoming. Make a legal U-turn, right? So this is equally true when it means taking baby steps in the direction of life transformation for abundance or health or romance. Just do anything. Do stuff. Get a little intuitive. Be a little intellectual. Reason and deduce. And go where you think is wisest and smartest to go. Go where other people are going who want the same things. Okay, that's how simple it is. It doesn't matter where you go. It matters that you go. And then you'll be reachable. And then you'll see confirmation. Then you'll meet somebody who will tell you about something that all of a sudden you're on the yellow brick road to the life of your wildest dreams. So those are the 3 steps. End result, general. Get into the details to create emotional excitement and expectation. Take baby steps, baby steps, baby steps. Rewatch this. If you like this, if I hit some notes, if I made some sense, if I gave you some clarity, please tell your friends about it. We're looking for another 40,000. Just kidding. But not kidding about tell your friends. Tell your friends these videos are coming down. They're a gift. They're limited. Act now. The worksheet. Oh my gosh, you're in for a treat. You're all getting a free worksheet that has these 3 steps I just told you, and then has examples of how to fill out a chart. If you have questions about this, I might be able to answer them on Tuesday. What is your general end result? Get into the details. Just don't attach to them. What are possible paths you might go down? We're not going to insist, make these cursed hows. No, no, no. And what are some actual baby steps you can do in the days ahead? We're mapping it out. It's so easy. And then I'm so excited. I got permission to let you in on a little secret. We're not going to be having another meeting for 5 days. Okay, we just met 2 days ago, and now we got to wait 5 days. This is like a new romance. I don't know how I'm going to make it. I don't know how you're going to make it. So in the middle of this 5 days, you're going to get another email from me with a really cool exercise about stoking imagination. It's really fun. Okay, so be on the lookout. You're going to get that email, and it's all fun. It's all good. It's all free. Oh, and let me tell you what I'm going to talk about then. Tell me if this is a question that's come to your mind already. You want to visualize pain-free living because you're in deep pain right now because of your knee or your back or your feet or arthritis or whatever. How do you visualize pain-free living when every waking moment of the day you're in pain? How do you visualize living in wealth and abundance when your entire life is reminding you that you're broke, in debt, and the bill collectors keep calling? How do you move towards and imagine and feel like it's already happened, that you found your travel partner when you haven't had a date in 40 years and there's no one on the radar? How do you hold these visions in these key critical areas of life, the juiciest areas of our life, when everything around you is telling you, yeah, nice try, Buck. Yeah, good one. You really crack me up. Okay, there's an easy way. I got so much to share. I've been doing this for 20 years, and they gave me the green light to share the best of my best. I'm going to talk about tips and tricks for, like I just said, the 6 coolest general areas of your life. Let me say love, career, money, losing weight, looking great, health and healing, and of course, happiness. I'm going to talk about drilling down for transformation of the greatest kind. Fellow adventurers, your dreams are not yours by accident. You have them for a reason, many reasons, not the least of which is to make them come true. There is no agenda. There are no unknown variables working against you. You're not here to be tested, judged, and sentenced. You're not even here to be tested. The universe, divine intelligence, does not give tests. Zippo. We give ourselves tests when we create confusion for not understanding the truth. But you're immersing yourself in truth with my program, with other programs, with deep thought, and you're going to absolve yourself from the need to take any more stupid tests, okay? Because tests suck, all right? It might seem like you're being tested, but you're not. You're just working through confusion. Are there lessons? Oh, yes, there's lessons that we say, I want to learn that. I want to be more empathetic. I want to be more compassionate. But they're not assigned to you. You have carte blanche to live the life of your dreams. The elements are waiting. Show them where you want to go. Create a new picture in your mind, and I'll see you then. Tally ho.